Three, two, one. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43, and tonight we are taking our very first look at the new Tier 7 German battleship, the Madness. This is the new Rust and Rumble ship. If you guys are interested in that sort of thing, you get a Zeton. That's it. It's just a Zeton. I guess it's a Zeton that could potentially have a smoke screen if you want to go that way. I've done a little bit of different things with this. I've tried the hide build. I've tried this full secondary Easy Yoi Nanomi build, both of which are viable. But if I had to choose, I'm going full secondaries on this thing, just because like the guns are accurate enough. You don't need them to be super crazy accurate with a hide build, and the smoke is a gimmick. It's not really all that helpful most of the time. Yes, it can help you get out of some areas. It can help you rush occasionally, but more often than not, it's going to get you killed. Just because, like, you're never going to have spotting, and yes, you do have the long-range sonar, but I don't know. I would much rather have the secondary booster on this thing than the smoke. That's just my personal taste. The secondaries are far more effective than that smoke screen. You only get it for 30 seconds. But let's get into the commander. We're running Easy Yoi Nanomi, Franz von Hipper, and Justinian Lyons. Why am I running Ain't no wonder my secondary range ain't as far. That explains a lot. Apparently I was running a meme fire build with my secondaries recently and I didn't know it. Well, I could have taken a lot more advantage of that, but oh well. Is what it is. Anyway, we're running not one for the nuisance, Porcupine, Punishment, and Master Mechanic with secondary interest. And again, this is all just trying to get the most out of the secondaries. And again, if you want to swap out Justinian Lyons for Haruna, that's perfectly valid. That would get you a little bit more range. This just means that when you're healing, you get better fire chance. So it can be kind of funny. You want to set a gajillion fires, it can be hilarious. But you got to at least pay attention to when you're going to be able to, like, save your heals to when you want to set the fires. But yeah, it's only while you're healing. Anyway, we are running the secondary battery mod 2. We're running the steering gears mod 2. You could swap that for propulsion mod if you want, but again, I like to be on the move most of the time. So generally for me, it's been the steering gears that comes in handy the most. Concealment, just to help you get a little bit closer before everybody sees you. And then secondary battery mod 3 in the final slot. This is the epic mod, meaning that the secondaries get even better the more damage you deal. So, all good things, right? Let's look at the loadout. Now again, you can swap the enhanced. It comes with the smoke stock, like if you want to use the smoke, but it is a full speed smoke, so while you're moving, you never have to slow down, just hit the button, you disappear, right? And you can couple that with your long range sonar to really get in there and have some fun with the secondaries. But as soon as you fire your guns, you're going to get spotted, right? So again, it's an interesting gimmick. It's not the most effective gimmick. Again, I think the secondary booster is far more effective for these types of ships. You don't get the gimmick of being able to drop smoke and turn or drop smoke and close the distance, but a lot of times just using your terrain to your advantage, you can get away with doing that anyway. But the sonar is the longer range sonar. It's not a 6 kilometer sonar. It's only 5.6, but still at tier 7, that's pretty solid. 3.8 kilometer torp acquisition range. Reloads 171 seconds, but it also lasts 118 seconds. That's almost a 2-minute freaking sonar. That's crazy for the extended range. So yeah, very nice. We are running the Epic Battle Booster to get our consumables back a little bit faster. Also gives us a little bit more main battery range, which we lose for this build. And gives us a little bit more movement speed, which is, it's okay. Italian Unity flag, because if you squint just right, kind of looks like a Spartan helmet. And then the Madness special camo that comes with the ship. Alright, survivability, 65,000 hit points, a little bit low. It's a battle cruiser, so it's kind of be expected. 28% torp production, though. Artillery, you got 406mm 52 caliber SKL 52s. You get 6 of those in a 1 at the front and 2 at the back configuration. One of the ones at the rear is a 360-degree rotating turret, so you can generally get 2 guns on target at any given moment. And if you go full broadside, you can get all 3. But firing range, 17.2 kilometers with this build. Again, you do lose some of that range. by going full Nonomi build, but it's okay. You're going to be up close and personal most of the time anyway, so you shouldn't have to run into too many situations that you can't shoot. But reload time of these guns is actually really good at 24 seconds. I didn't realize that until I started like playing. I'm like, man, these guns seem to reload pretty quick. They do. They reload pretty quick. These are 16-inch guns that reload in 24 seconds base. You could get that faster if you really wanted to. 180-degree turn time's pretty solid on these as well, 30 seconds, not too shabby for a battleship. HE shell maximum damage 4,800 with a 38% chance to set fires, and the AP shell maximum damage of 11,500. So pretty much what you'd expect out of a German. Secondary armament, 105 millimeter L65 DOP LC31s. You got 16 of those, reaching out to 10.6 kilometers with this build. Again, you can get this over 11 kilometers if you're running Haruna in there, but yeah, we're not, so we get 10.6. Reload time 2.5 seconds base, so that gets absurd by the time you spec it, or by the time you get all the perks rolling. It gets ridiculous. HE shell maximum damage is 1,200 with a 5% chance to set fires. For the 150 millimeter 55 caliber SKC 28 secondaries, you get 4 of those, reaching out 10.6 kilometers, reloading in a base of 6.5 seconds, which is about as fast as the American 5-inch guns reload, which is crazy, considering these are 6-inch guns, or 5.9 or whatever they are. HE shell maximum damage 1,700 with an 8% chance to set fires on those. And then you have the 150 millimeter 55 caliber SKC 28s. You get 8 of those, reaching out to 10.6 kilometers, reloading in 6.5 seconds with 1,700 HE shell damage and an 8% chance to set fires. Torpedoes. You do have one launcher on either side of the ship. It is a quad launcher. They reach out to 7.5 kilometers range, but they are 533 millimeter Veerling torpedoes, so they're kind of slow. Reload is 110 seconds. The maximum damage 16,533, so they don't hit the hardest, but you hit them. Like, generally you're going to land more often than not when you're using these things, unless you're trying to snipe people, but generally speaking, you're going to be up close and personal going for YOLO torps on these. So 1.2 kilometer detectability, so they're not as noticeable as some torps, but they're not sneaky like Russian torps. It's kind of like mid-range or lower mid-range. 7.5 kilometer range, like I said, 56 knot top speed for the torps. Not ideal, but hey, again, the ranges that you're going to be launching these torps from, you're probably going to be able to slap people, so it's not going to be that big a deal. AA defense. You do actually have a decent AA defense in this thing. You got 30 millimeter flak 38s. You get 48 of those, doing 172 damage per second out to 3 kilometers. And 105 millimeter L65 Doppel C31 dual purpose secondaries. You get 16 of those, doing 133 damage per second, reaching out to 4.5 kilometers. So pretty solid AA for a German specifically, but also just in general. Like, they're going to get their drop off, but then you're going to be able to shred some planes before they can swing back around and get you again, which they will. Because at least every game that I've played in pretty much has had a carrier, and every freaking game has just been carrier coming for me. It's not been a fun experience in the ship. 34 knot top speed. Again, we're running the booster, so it's probably 32 or 33 normally. 820 meter turning circle is pretty nice. I would say it's at least average, if not slightly better than average for a battleship. Rudder shift time, 12.2 seconds with this build. Again, we do run the rudder shift mod, so, or steering gears, so it makes sense that we have a little bit better rudder shift, so solid for a battleship. Detectability by sea is 12.7, detectability by air is 10.6, guaranteed is always 2, and detectability while firing in smoke, this is what I was talking about, 14.3 kilometers. You're a battleship. As soon as you fire your main guns, doesn't matter if you're in a smoke screen, you're going to be spotted. The odds that whatever you're shooting at isn't within 14.3 is pretty slim. And now for our stats. You can see I do have a 60% win rate, but these games have been awful. I'll be real honest. I haven't done crap for damage in any of my games. I think the most I've had is like 106,000, and that is because every single game that I've played this ship in has ended in like 3 minutes. And I'm not being facetious. Literally every game that I've played this ship in has just been a raffle stomp. It's not been a fun. It's just been a miserable experience. I hate raffle stomps. I wish they would do something to try to correct it. I don't know what they can do, because at the end of the day, it's a bunch of dumb players doing dumb things that cause them. But I digress. It sucks. But you can see better torpedo accuracy than normal for me at 11%. Main gun accuracy is 52%, showcasing that, yes, these guns are accurate enough. You don't need to build into main gun accuracy on a battlecruiser generally because they're usually accurate enough for most battleships. But again, small sample size for the ship. I don't think it's a bad ship. I just don't have a chance to actually showcase the ship because every game has been, I guess my max damage is 95. So, yeah, like I said, every game has been a raffle stomp. It's been awful. It's not been a fun ship to play. It's an okay looking ship. Again, it's a Zeton, so it's kind of ugly. It kind of reminds me of the, what is that new destroyer for the Americans that failed miserably. That's what it looks like. You guys know what I'm talking about. But again, it's a battle cruiser, so if you get caught broadside, you're going to get slapped around. Okay, so this does not have a turtleback armor scheme, okay? Keep that in mind. So no turtleback on this one, and it does have a slightly raised citadel. It's not hugely raised, but it is slightly raised. And if you turn at all, you're just going to make that problem worse. And if you get caught over-angled, you're going to get slapped. Now, you do have plenty of side armor to bounce rounds if you know what you're doing. So keep that in mind. Use that to your advantage, right? Overview. Secondary reach, above average secondary battery range. Again, it's a German battlecruiser. It's going to have secondaries. Extended sonar. Sonar's range or duration is increased, and in this case, it's both. Both the extended range and the long duration. It's kind of busted how long that sonar will last, because I'm used to it lasting like 60 seconds, but no, it just keeps going, right? But yeah, exhaust smoke generator can dispense a smoke screen and stay hidden at full speed. That's the kicker, right? It's not just your normal smoke screen where you got to slow down and stop. This is a full speed smoke if you want to go that way. Again, I've done it. It has moments where it's useful, but a lot of the times it's simply just not as useful as having the secondary battery, whatever you call it, right? Madness. You had better not cross paths with this shabby giant. Notorious in the post-apocalyptic city of Rustport, once a military battleship, she was decommissioned and sold for scrap. Instead of turning into mere metal junk, she underwent a bizarre and peculiar upgrade, emerging as something entirely new and rather intimidating. So, yeah. Again, I don't hate the overall like design of the thing. Kind of reminds me of a Borderlands slash what is that game? From the Depths. You know, with the RAM builds in From the Depths. If you guys have ever watched that video game, but yeah. Too bad that it doesn't get like a boost or like ramming damage or something. Like, wouldn't that be an interesting thing? Like, have something like that. I mean, you got the thing on the front of the ship. Why not get something there? Like, have a reduction. There was an old perk back in the day, and I think there's like one commander that still has it. I want to say he's an orc of some sort, but somebody still has the perk. Maybe it's one of the 40K peoples. But it used to reduce ramming damage taken and increase ramming damage dealt. So you would almost certainly kill whatever you ram, and you would probably survive if you were full health, right? And that would be an interesting gimmick for this particular ship, and that might even give you a reason to like use the smoke, because you could just go in and ram somebody and get a full health kill, and you would survive, and then you would be able to potentially go from there. But with all of that being said, let's get to the gameplay. Alrighty, so we're going to be in the madness, and we're going to be underway right in the first match. I'm going to go showcase what this thing is capable of doing, if given the opportunity, just like any other German battlecruiser. So right out the gate, we have an Azure Lane Harbin, who decides that smoking up in front of an extended range sonar battlecruiser is a good idea. So we smack him, get 3 overpins, as you do when a light cruiser decides to go full broadside in front of you. And then I just simply close the distance. And as I close the distance, my sonar is already running, and it's only a matter of time before this little turd blossom gets spotted. Hey, look, there he is. Hi, little turd blossom. Hold these. Bonk, bonk, and bonk. But of course, in true Spartan fashion, we gotta leave him with just enough for somebody else to get the kill. But that's not all. What you didn't see was that there's also a Musashi over here, and I'm already trying to intercept him. And look, there he is. Once again, our sonar lets us know exactly where he is. So we're going to go ahead and plan ahead. We're going to drop the torps to pin him in. If he tries to go forward, he's going to eat those torps. If he tries to slow down and go in, then we've got him with the left side torps. but we want to wait for him to come around the corner and commit. He comes around. We've got our shot ready. We aim past the island, but unfortunately the front guns hit the island. The rear guns, however, make it through. We get one shell to hit into a citadel. The other shell does nothing. But as we push in, he has no choice. He can't really go anywhere. He's dodged the first set of torpedoes, but unfortunately for him, I have another set. And we are in the perfect place to make him pay for it. Now, broadside, Musashi or Yamato at this range, yeah, that's not going to go well for you, Sunshine. As we punch through the beginning, we broke one turret and destroyed the other, so he can't even shoot us back. And we take him down. Now, he did get one shot away, which is really unfortunate, but doesn't matter. Now, what you're probably thinking is, oh, that Cleveland, never mind. So that Cleveland ends up getting yeeted by my Pizarski that was right behind me in the cap. So, yeah, we just chased him around, and the game ended shortly thereafter. Again, like every game that I've played in this ship has just been a raffle stomp. I haven't had to have one singular game in this ship where it was interesting. It's just all been a raffle stomp. And this will be no exception. This is another raffle stomp, so I hope you guys are ready. But it's going to be a raffle stomp kind of induced by us, mainly because we end up... Our team ends up in doing one thing, and then I do another thing, and those things ended up working out. Now, right off the bat, we're on Warrior's Path. I'm going to push over to the Charlie Cap, because I spawned here, right? Try to win the side, if you can. Or at least hold it for as long as possible. If you have to disengage, you have to disengage. But we're going to try to get in position. We got speed on our side for the most part with this thing, so we want to try to use some of that speed to get around into a good position early on. Now, given the fact that our destroyer decides to go straight forward and beach himself, or go around the island in front of him, I guess. I thought he beached himself, but he's going around the island. We're not going to get any spotting, so we're just going to continue going off to the left. Now, this cruiser that's here, to his credit, at least he's not running away. A lot of times what you'll do is you'll see somebody on the weak side and they'll immediately turn tail and run. But I am going this way. Nobody gets spotted over the middle, unfortunately. You can see where the enemy is kind of hanging around. We've got a battleship heading this way. We've got a cruiser over here. So we've kind of got an idea of what we're up against, right? And this is where, if you understand the minimap and what it's doing, like, you can really start to get an idea of what's coming, right? So we know there's a cruiser nearby. And so as he turns out to dodge, we also look up and see a battleship get spotted momentarily. It's a Pommern. That's good information to have because the Pommern counters me in pretty much every conceivable way. He has torpedoes, he has secondaries, he has more guns than us, more hit points than us. It's not ideal. So we don't want that fight if we can avoid it, right? Or at least not while he has a couple of cruisers as backup. Now the Rune gets spotted. He is full broadside, slightly angled away, coming out of a turn. We take the shot, and we are going to score a couple of hits. Not going to be a lot of hits, because again, only 6 guns max. So yeah, that's the one downside of the Zeton and this thing, is that you only have 6 guns. So just like the Georgia, just like the Gdańsk, like, it really suffers due to only having 6 guns. But at least this one's more accurate than both of those ships, I believe. So at least you got that going for you. But knowing what's around the corner, knowing that there's 2 cruisers there, one of them is a Rune and one of them is an unknown. I think it ends up being a Kutuzov. But also the fact that there's a Pommern, I don't want to fight all of those things. Instead, I'm going to try to put myself in a position to disengage from this flank, but I'm going to capture the base in the process, and I'm going to try to put myself in a position to help the middle of the map. We've got an Amalfi over there, we have the Flounder over there, so I'm going to try to put myself in a position to counter their push. Turns out their destroyer's there as well, and you can see Jaeger get spotted momentarily, so we're going to go ahead and take a shot at him, because you see a destroyer, you shoot a destroyer, right? Now, we do end up getting one overpen on him, so there's that. Secondaries are doing secondary things. Flounder comes around the corner, and I made the mistake of thinking the Flounder was on the other side of this island, so I was like, it's fine. Just a Flounder, but it doesn't matter. Flounder goes down anyway. But you can see his secondaries were actually shooting me. I could have swore he was behind the other island. Like, there was an island, and I thought he was on the other side of it, but I misread the minimap. There's an island, like, right underneath where my 2 teammates are. But you can see here, I'm kind of, like, putting torpedoes out there in case somebody YOLO rushes the corner. We've gotten the cap. We've done our job up to this point. So now I'm going to try to put myself in a position to help with the middle of the map, right? Like we were in position to potentially help with the Flaunder and the destroyer. We're going to try to push that destroyer and get rid of him. We can use the island to close, and you can see where he's at. He's kind of just hanging out there, which is fine. I don't, unfortunately, get a chance to shoot him here. But as we close the distance, we should easily be able to come around the corner. Now, there is a battleship to my right. He's requesting support for, or requesting fire on that Jaeger. And so we're simply just going to use the island here. We know we've got sonar, right? So we don't have to do anything crazy. We do pop the sonar in case my battleship can shoot him. And we should be spotting him any time. Now, the rune is coming back. You can see I'm looking. Unfortunately, my torps aren't ready yet. They're not back yet. We got the Amalfi there. Jaeger is now spotted for God and everybody to see. Our battleship should be able to clap him. And then, worst case scenario, I come around the corner. I'm able to shoot him and use my secondaries. Meanwhile, my secondaries are shooting the rune. Now, as we come around the corner, we've got a good shot. We get absolutely screwed on the RNG there. But between the carrier attacking him and then us, we're able to take him down. Now, Pommern is starting to push around the corner, and assuming he's with that other cruiser, we are going to try to put ourselves in position to get rid of this Amalfi, who was low health already, and the rune over here. Now, we know they're both here, right? So we got to be careful what we decide to do, but at the same time, like, we should be able to get rid of these guys. And you'll see Amalfi comes around, gets just begging for it. And, of course, we get screwed in the process. Once again, just showcasing how much I love having 6 guns. Now here, we managed to avoid getting torpedoed, which is nice. But unfortunately, that turn is putting us right in position to be potentially torpedoed by the Amalfi's torps. But we do have our guns ready to go. We have 2 guns on target. We're going to go ahead and use that. We do get 2 torpedoes against us. I don't use my sonar or my damage control right away because we do get set on fire. The rune is coming out. He's also got torpedoes, so we got to try to dodge those. So you can see I am going to turn all the way back around. Now, assuming that my secondaries are going to finish off the Amalfi, I decide, okay, now I'm going to focus the rune and let the secondaries finish off the freaking cruiser that's further away, who has literally no hit points. Surely my secondaries can hit him and kill him, right? Thank you. But as he flips around, we know more torps are potentially coming here, so we're going to get back in. Now, one other thing is this allowed us to go bow into these guys, and you can see that they are not coming through the middle. I thought these guys would be trying to chase me. I really did. But no, they decided that they don't want to fight me. They would rather fight the rest of my team, or at least they didn't know about the rest of my team or something. But we get double fired here by the secondaries. We're going to go ahead and put that double fire out. And we're going to try to close the distance and get behind these guys. And these guys are about to get absolutely kerblastered by my teammates who have yet to leave their spawn. Not saying it was a bad decision in this moment, because again, you're in the perfect place to counter these guys in their push. Now, Kuchazov comes around the corner first. He absolutely regrets it. He loses all of his hit points. He is going to try to panic smoke, and I believe he goes down right after. But you'll notice that I continue looking at the thing because I didn't see the Kuchazov die right there. But yeah, he's definitely dead. But Palmer, on the other hand, is right there. We know that the rune is on our right somewhere. We don't know exactly what his plan is. But again, we've done everything we needed to do in this. We've pushed up, we've gotten a cap, we've moved into the middle, supported our team, gotten rid of a destroyer, moved back, gotten rid of a cruiser, hurt another cruiser, and come back for a crossfire potential on this enemy Palmer. Now, the enemy Palmer is going to bow tank our team and try to survive. Unfortunately for him, because I doubled back, I am now in the perfect place to crossfire him. And there's not really anything he can do about it. His guns are on the wrong side of a ship, and his secondaries can do things, but so can mine. And if I had to choose between the Palmer and secondaries and the Zetans, I'll take the Zetan because they're more accurate. We do destroy one of his torpedo tubes, which is nice. We don't have to worry about those, even though I'm pretty sure he has 6-kilometer torps, and it wouldn't have been a problem for us anyway. But secondaries doing what secondaries do. They are setting fires, and you can see we've quickly gotten 2 fires on him. And we're trying to wait for our guns to reload so that we can finish this guy off. We take a shot, aiming high, trying to avoid the belt, and unfortunately Kaga steals the kill from us. Now, the rune here has decided he wants to shoot at us now. He's at 15 kilometers away, meaning if I simply don't shoot back, he can't see us, which will give me plenty of time to capture the base, right? As long as he doesn't reset us. and he swings and he misses. So 40 seconds, and we will capture this base. Now you'll notice that the rune is staying spotted because my destroyer here is able to keep him lit up. I don't need to shoot the rune right now. I could, but there's no reason to. Instead, I'd simply wait until I capture the base or get within the last 10 seconds of capturing the base before I pull the trigger on the rune. This will guarantee that I manage to capture the base and also manage to start making the rune run away. So within 10 seconds, you'll see, as soon as we're under 10 seconds, I start aiming, I take a shot, because by the time I shoot and get lit up, he's not going to have time to react and shoot me back before the cap is mine, right? And we get a good shot there. 2 of the shells managing to hit, do some damage. Rune is just going to try to run away, and we are simply going to give chase, right? There's nothing else to do, so this is one of those times where chasing a kite is absolutely fine. But yeah, here he tries to, I don't know what he's doing, honestly. He's trying to be sneaky, but he's really not. He's very predictable, and we placed it perfectly. Good night. You can't ask for a much better shot than that, guys. But yeah, that shows you, like, even with only 6 guns, these guns are accurate enough. So you don't really need to go into all-out accuracy. A lot of people will on their battlecruisers. I don't think that's the right play, specifically for the German battlecruisers, just due to the fact that these things have incredible secondaries, and I think that is the bigger selling point for these ships. If you have Izuyoi no Nomi, highly recommend him. Or her. If you don't have her, then I would go with your standard hide buildup, because pretty much everybody has hide at this point, right? Like, it's available like every single Halloween, plus a couple of times during the year with random crates or whatever. But yeah, hide is one of those commanders for the Germans that you basically need to have. He's just too good to not have. But there you go, a madness. Another 90k game where we didn't lose a single ship. Great gameplay experience. So let me know what you guys think. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video.